So how does a house on a foundation affect a bathroom remodel? Does it limit where you can put things and how you can move them around?
Yeah, it does to a certain extent. So I assume you're talking about a house built on a slab versus a crawl space.
Right,
So,
yes.
so yeah, that's a really good point. So if a house is built with a crawl space underneath, it's a lot easier for us to go underneath and move the plumbing around. And if you want to move the toilet from one side of the bathroom to another to create room for a shower, for instance, then it's a heck of a lot easier if the house is on a raised foundation for sure. Now, if it's on a slab, we can do it, but it's going to be a lot more expensive because then we got to jackhammer things up. And sometimes there can be limitations because sewer lines need to slope 1/4 inch per foot, so it could be a lot more difficult.
Okay.
But it's not impossible. But I always recommend, because most people are on a budget, that don't move the toilet. That's the trickiest one.
Okay.
If you're on a slab. And some of the other plumbing fixtures, the shower, the sink, you can move a short distance, but it's the same thing. Like, you don't want to just completely rearrange a bathroom for no reason.
Right.
On a slab, if you're on a budget, if there's no budget, then obviously you can tear the whole thing up and completely redo it.
But like a shower drain is easier to move than a toilet.
A little bit easier just because it's a smaller pipe, so it's easier to work with. And the toilet's a larger diameter, so it's a little trickier. So, but ideally, you don't move the fixtures around too much.
Okay.
The shower drain you could move slightly, like that's typical. Like maybe it was a bathtub and the drain's on the end, then you turn it into a shower, now the drain's gonna be in the middle. That's no big deal. We jackhammer out a little bit of concrete, so we do that all the time.
Okay.
But if you're looking to design a bathroom and you're like, God, it would be so much better if I put this here, that here, and that there, and then all of a sudden I give an estimate to do all that, it becomes cost prohibitive.
Through the roof.
And then you're back to just reconfiguring or maybe more cosmetically remodeling the area versus moving things around. So
Gotcha.
it can be done. It comes down to money, and sometimes it could be impossible to move a toilet too far because we can't get the slope or there's some big footing in the way or something like that. So
Gotcha.
it can be a little tricky.
Okay.
Sure.
For the most part,
Yeah.
want to leave it alone.
Yeah,
And
I would if it's on a slab for sure. Try to keep things. Now the sink drain, just if we're gonna get into details, that's in the wall, and like you could move it within the wall. So the drain comes out of the wall, and then obviously it goes down through the slab. Well, if you move it a couple feet one way or the other in the wall, that's not a big deal, right? Because that's above the slab, so.
Right.
So that's not a huge deal. Or maybe there was one sink and now you want two.
Right.
So you could split the drain and go left and go right and then stub out for 2 sinks in the wall. So that's not a huge deal. So,
Do the studs in the wall affect that at all?
well, you drill through them
Okay.
and we
just
reinforce
put
them when we do
pipe.
that. So
Gotcha.
it makes it trickier, but we drill through them, but you can reinforce them. And so you don't want to, drill through too many studs. So that's where it helps to have a contractor or an expert come in and look at it and see what you got before you weaken the whole structure with too many holes in the slab and the walls and
Yeah,
jeopardize the structure of the room. So
that makes sense.